Be on your best behavior. You are on camera. Don't pick your nose, that kind of thing. Tim, you want to go ahead and unmute yourself if you're not already.
Yep, I am.
Okay.
All right, let's go. I'd like to welcome you to the Committee on Administration for the Dunn County Board of Supervisors. It is 3:30 and it's time for our board meeting here at this particular time. So I'd like to thank you all for being here, and we have a quorum at this time. So I'd like to call the meeting to order if I may. And I'd like to ask Julie to call the roll.
Paul, I think you're taking the minutes. Are you going to do that? I certainly can.
I would be happy to. Supervisor Story.
Here.
Supervisor Calabrese.
Here.
Supervisor Tripp.
Here.
Supervisor Bartlett.
Here.
Chairman Lenow.
Here.
I believe that's everybody.
And if you've had an opportunity to review the minutes from last meeting, be ready to take a motion to approve those.
Supervisor Story moves.
Bartlett, and then I record Bartlett moving and Supervisor Story second.
That is correct. And that all in favor, say aye.
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 And those no votes. Hearing none, the minutes from last meeting are approved. And staff reports.
Thank you.
Move over to Mr. Miller.
In your packet of materials received for this meeting, you have monthly reports from the county manager, from Human Resources Director Heather Murray, from our Criminal Justice Coordinator Sarah Benedict, from the County Clerk Julie Wathke, from the County Treasurer Doris Meyer, from our Chief Financial Officer Keith Stry, and from our Director of IT Eric Edgeberg. Those reports are all in your packet. Are there any questions that we can field regarding those reports? None.
Hearing none, we will move forward then. The consideration of actions to be taken to the Committee on Administrations, the audit of vouchers. We have, would anybody make the motion to approve the vouchers at this time?
I move. Tripp.
I record Supervisor Tripp moves. I'm sorry, and Supervisor and Chairman Bartlett seconds.
Any questions regarding the vouchers at this time?
Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Tripp?
I have a couple of questions. One of them is on page 2. It's land information, and it was a voucher for $32,981 to Ayers and Associates. Anybody happen to know what that's about? More curiosity as to what Ayers is doing with them. If not, I can.
I can answer that, Paul. That's part of our land information section. Last year, FEMA flew a LiDAR of Dunn County that we were able to acquire for free. So we partnered with the Highway Department to fly an aerial flight and then use the LiDAR to create new 1-foot contours, culvers, and other data sets from it. And those are payments towards air for the work being in progress.
Thanks, Eric. I have another question. It comes from page 9, and I think I might know the answer to this. It's from the fair, and it's a bunch of $400 payments to, how's that, one-time vendors. Anybody know what that's about? Is that by any chance refunds from
Yes, Mr. Chair, I can answer that. Yes, there were a number of refunds that were processed as one-time vendors. These were deposits that the vendors had to put down for the fair, and then when the fair was canceled, we had to
Yep.
process refunds.
I figured, thank you. That was it for me.
Are there any other questions regarding the audit, the vouchers? Hearing none, all in favor to pay the vouchers, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay? Hearing none, vouchers are paid. Next item on our agenda is number 6. Consideration for reports, resolutions, ordinance to the county board from the Committee on Administration. 6A, resolution amending the employee handbook regarding the total base wage and other forms of compensation. I'm going to turn this over to Heather.
Yes, thank you. So this one is putting into the handbook what was approved at a previous meeting. We have been working to adopt and establish the 401A retirement plan in place of the other post-employment benefits and the post-employment health benefits, the OPEB and the PEP. And so this just solidifies and puts into the handbook the action that has already been taken by the committee. So we just ask that this be recommended to the board.
Is anybody, would anybody like to make a motion for that?
So moved
So moved. Okay.
by Sheeta Stroh.
And second by Supervisor Calabrese. All in favor of that?
Wait, you want to ask a question?
Oh, any questions?
I guess I have one.
Yes, Chairman Bartlett.
Didn't we act on this already? I mean, when we acted on it, wasn't it assumed that when we acted on it, that it would be put in our handbook?
Nick, I'm going to defer to you, but I believe that handbook changes have to go to the board by resolution. Is that correct? And so because this is a change in benefits in the handbook, that the resolution has to go, and we have not passed a resolution. We've just approved the addition of the benefit.
All right. I'll take that as a
Okay.
explanation.
That's good because I couldn't figure out how to unmute my.
Any other questions regarding the resolution? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, resolution will be forwarded on to the board. 6B, resolution amending the inventory of job classes. I'm assuming Heather will have answers regarding that.
Yes, thank you. We had a resignation in our human services department, and that individual carried a title of psychiatric social worker. And the job duties and the job requirements do not warrant the utilization of the social worker title. And that particular position has some pretty strong parameters. Before anybody can use the social worker title, they have to pass a lot of different certifications and whatnot. So since we're not actually requiring them to be social work certified, they can't use the social work title. So we are recommending changing that title, which requires an amendment to the job classifications via resolution to the board. This leaves us in compliance and we're able to recruit for the position appropriately.
Motion.
Motion to forward this on to the board.
I move. Tripp.
Second Story.
It's been a move to approve and second.
Mr. Chair,
Any
if I may,
question? What's that?
if I may,
Yes, Mr. Tripp.
Just to add some background to this, this happens to be my daughter's profession, and she took a new job. She works in Minnesota, but I think the requirements are similar. She took a new job. She signed the contract about 3 weeks ago, but will not start until the 1st of August because that's how long certification takes. And she's basically just moving from one position to another. I mean, the same job, just one company to another, and she still has to be recertified all over again. So it really is very complex. I can sympathize with not wanting to. If you don't have to go through it, don't do it.
Any other comments speaking to the resolution? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, resolution goes to the board. Next on our agenda is 7, announcements. Next meeting date is July 23rd, 2020. Is
Any other announcements?
any other announcements? Hearing none,
We're adjourned.
we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
See y'all. Short meeting.
Very well run.